Welcome back to licklibrary.com. I'm Dan Veal. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes telling you about my bass. I play a bit of a different instrument. It's a 7-string, custom made for me by a guy in Sheffield called John Shuker. Now, it's not majorly different from a normal 4 or 5 string that you might find in your local shop. It's just got a couple of extra strings. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. The actual instrument itself, you've got the 4 strings in the middle here, your normal 4-string bass, E, A, D and G. You've got a low B, which makes it a 5-string bass, B, E, A, D, G. And to make it up to a 6-string bass, you've got a high C on here as well. Now, some 7-string bass players choose to go up a string, and they will add a high F string. But this little monster has got a low F sharp string, so I'm going 1 down from a B. It's a very low note, and it's more of a feeling than a sound when you're playing through a massive PA, which is great. The instrument has been designed by myself and John for my particular playing style. I'm fairly fussy and at times rather lazy, so I do rely on some clever little gadgets to kind of like get me through the set. And I'm going to show you a couple of these down here on the body now. We've got a ramp in here, and I got this idea from a few jazz players where they like to rest their fingers against the top of the pickup and play over the top of that. And it just makes it a bit more comfortable and a bit smoother when you're playing. I'm going to just demonstrate the difference between playing across the top of the ramp and off the top of the strings without anything underneath it, to kind of like show you what I mean. If I play just a note on the open string with nothing underneath my fingers, I'm quite sloppy. To me it sounds a bit, I could probably get it a bit smoother. But if I play across the top of the ramp, my fingers are sliding right across the top of it. I think that sounds a lot smoother, and I can get a lot more speed out of it as well. I can work straight across the strings to get a really good speed and accuracy up. Another little thing I've got like hidden away is underneath the back of the neck. I'm just going to flip the guitar over. A big scoop here, so I can get right up above the 12th fret, and it still feels nice and comfortable should I want to play a solo or something like that. Also on this bass, which is a little bit different from a normal 4 or a 5-string bass, the strings are a little bit closer together. The actual spacing is probably a bit too close for some people. You know, when it comes to slapping, you know, sometimes it can take your skin off a little bit, but you soon get used to it. But for speed and my kind of playing, it feels pretty good. It is quite a big instrument. It is quite heavy as well. And a guy was saying earlier on, it looks a bit like a tree trunk. I suspect there's probably enough wood on here to actually make a tree out of it anyway. But I try to get as many of my favourite parts of different basses I've played over the years into one instrument. One which I can use all the time, and it really is a workhorse. It's not something which I just kind of like get out for being flashy or what have you. The design on the neck which I put on there, not only is it just cosmetic, it actually helps me find myself when I'm playing on the neck, because I can look down and I know that whereabouts I am by where the bumps are on the neck. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to be using it for the next lesson on tapping, and you can hear it and see it then.